So, in one of the more recent Hytale postcards, we got a picture of what looked to be a village, and in this village there are a few different characters, each of a different specialised trade. Each of these characters represent the Hytale dev team's actual members, and if you combine both of these ideas together, you get the potential concept that maybe each player can specialise into certain skills within Hytale. As an example, we can see Chris Thurston, the publishing, narrative and comms leader, as a Hytale character dressed in a wizard's robes wielding an earth-infused staff. This could mean that in Hytale he would have specialised into maybe magic and wizardry, or something along those lines, where maybe the mastery of using the earth staff could lead to more effective and longer lasting spells, such as faster crop growth. Remember, this is all theoretical as nothing is confirmed in much detail yet, so this is all speculation. However, then we see the caption for the postcard, which further reinforces this idea, as it states, "Architects and artisans have an important role to play in the adventure to come." Now, I'm not too sure in what way architects will impact the Hytale world, as an architect is often someone who designs buildings, so this could be an interesting topic to speculate about. However, I am more interested in the word artisan, where if you search up its definition, you find that an artisan is a worker in a skilled trade, especially one that involves making things by hand. This set off a chain reaction of excitement and thoughts for me, as this could mean potions, armor, weapons, food, and much more. The idea that we could end up specializing into one, or maybe even all of these skills in our Hytale world seemed very interesting to me. Each of these specific trades I will refer to as life skills, just so you know what I mean when I say the phrase life skill. Hey guys, I am EmberwulfZ and welcome back to another Hytale video. Before we get into today's topic, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the support I've received from everyone so far. Your support really does matter, as on the last video we managed to get over 1.1k views with about 20 subscribers at the time of release. And now we are on 85, which is just insane. This blew me away completely and I feel super motivated to continue making these videos. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe for Hytale content every Wednesday. Also, quick reminder that if you want to be part of a Hytale community, you can join the Ember Empire by joining our Discord via the link in the description. Now, onto the topic of today's video, life skills in Hytale and what they could mean for the game. I hope you enjoy, and let's begin. Now, from the intro, you should have got a general idea what a life skill is. Life skills are great because they can provide fun and satisfaction while also giving the player a whole new spectrum of knowledge and systems to master. But before we dive into how they could work in Hytale, let's look at an example of these in another game first. A game where you can find good examples of life skills is Black Desert Online, one of the most gorgeous MMORPGs out there right now. Black Desert Online has one of the most in-depth life skill systems that I've seen in any game so far. The game consists of, correct me if I'm wrong, 10 life skills, and each skill acts as a massive time sink for players to explore while trying to master each specific life skill as best as possible, obviously gaining bonuses as their mastery of a life skill goes up. For example, one of the life skills is alchemy, and one small part of the alchemy system are alchemy stones. You can craft and perfect these alchemy stones over time, improving their functionality and value significantly. These alchemy stones, when equipped and activated, can provide large buffs for a short period of time, and these buffs can vary from improving the efficiency of other life skills all the way to taking down mobs as effectively as possible. Now, Black Desert Online in my eyes is a fantastic example, but also an awful one. This is because even though each life skill can provide so much to the player, for me there is still too much grinding. This is sort of fine for Black Desert, as the game is built around this grinding concept, so it's nothing out of the ordinary for the players. However, Hytale would definitely not suit this concept so well. So what I'm saying is that I hope Hytale's life skills have as much detail as even half of Black Desert's, however with just much reduced grinding, because that's painful if anyone's played it. Hopefully that didn't bore you too much, as now we are back to Hytale, which is what you are all here for. So, let's talk about what we have seen in Hytale so far that could provide evidence for life skills. The first bit of potential evidence comes from the December 13th, 2018 blog post, where we get to see the first glimpses of the UI in Hytale. Now, there is one image in particular that I am super interested in, and this is the screenshot of the weapon bench and inventory UI. There is a lot to break down here, so let's try to keep up. Just a quick note guys, please do remember that this is over 2 years old now, so things may have changed slightly and not all of this may have made it into the end game's release. Firstly, let's talk about the inventory, where we can see what appears to be different types and rarities of weapons. But then you notice there appears to be a chalk blade with 3 different rarities. Common, which is grey, green, which I assume to be uncommon, but we aren't confirmed on that just yet, and then blue, which is rare. Now there are 2 things that I think this could mean. One of them is that when you loot chalk camps or just dungeon chests in general, you have a chance to find a higher rarity item, because maybe a common chalk sword may be dropped when defeating chalks in general or when crafted by the player themselves. However, maybe when you defeat some sort of boss or loot a dungeon chest, you can get a higher rarity blade as a reward for your struggles. Alternatively, we have the second thing that the different rarities could mean, which is that there is a blacksmithing life skill. Now, one of the ways this could work is that when you craft weapons and armor, you gain experience in the blacksmithing life skill, meaning that as you level this skill up, you will have an increasingly likely chance to forge equipment of higher rarity and hence of higher stats. Now, as I said, these chalk blades could have just been looted from somewhere, however, we then also see a basic small hammer or hatchet looking thing. I mean, to me that doesn't exactly look like much of a weapon and maybe could be a tool instead. But if it is a weapon, it kind of does defeat the point of my argument a little bit because it could have been looted. So we're going to assume that it isn't. So if tools have rarity, then I guess they could have been looted as well. However, I more expect that they have been crafted by the player into a high rarity out of a chance or a specific crafting recipe. If that doesn't convince you that there may be blacksmithing life skill on Hytale, then let's also look at the crafting part of the image, where you can see that each weapon requires specific materials to craft just as expected. But then I spotted that there is a craft times 10 button. Now, to me, that seems a bit unusual because there are very few situations where you'd want to craft 10 blades, right? So, this leads me to believe that this may or may not be for making progression in blacksmithing less tedious. So, in turn, it could reinforce the potential for life skills in Hytale. Potentially, these 10 iron swords could alternatively be used for trading with NPCs or something, but I don't see anything else other than that it could really be used for. So it could actually be for blacksmithing progression. Let me know what you guys think. We aren't done just yet guys, as from this blog post there was also this image right here. Now the blog post describes how, and I quote, "As you further progress in the game, you'll be able to experiment with crafting ingredients and found components to make powerful weapons and gear. This rewarding crafting system allows you to combine and experiment to discover new recipes, while also showing you all the recipes that you already know." So, as you experiment with crafting, you may find new recipes for weapons to craft, which is really cool, right? But then it got me thinking, again, that there could be much more depth than what meets the eye. So, what if when it says experimenting, that doesn't just mean finding new equipment recipes to craft? What if it also means that you may find alternate recipes for the same piece of equipment to craft, where each of these further or better recipes may provide you with a higher rarity of the same equipment, as it may be used like slightly different resources to do so? I mean, that would make sense, right? I mean, it's certainly potential to be in the game. So, this could indicate that instead of mastering each life skill, Hytale could be taking an alternative approach, and just adding a lot of depth, knowledge and exploration to complete within each life skill. Now this looks more likely in my opinion, because we haven't really seen much of a mastery as such in any other skills within Hytale, such as cooking and farming. Speaking of these two topics, there is still some evidence for a life skill in each of these. For farming we have seen lots of clips and screenshots, but one that caught my eye was this one, where we have a farmer holding a watering can standing next to a dude with an earth infused staff. Now this looks similar to what I mentioned in the intro with the postcard, and considering he is next to the farmer, I'm still assuming that maybe its earth magic could provide bonuses for crop growth and yield. Now this could be specifically to farming life skill, or alternatively spells and buffs could be their own life skill entirely. As for cooking, we can see that there is evidence for cooking via some screenshots, but then we also see this clip of the chalk fight, where the player eats food right after in order to gain HP back. Now, we can see that there is grilled fish and cooked meat, which is kind of to be expected. However, we then see that there is a meat kebab, which indicates that there may be a massive in-depth cooking system that Hytale hasn't shown off quite yet, where brewing up food for your adventure could be critical to the outcome and success of that adventure, which I think is pretty cool for sure. That was a lot of speculation, and I do hope some of what I'm saying at least has a bit of truth behind it, but now it's time for my opinion on what I would prefer out of the two systems of Mastery versus Exploration. So, initially I thought Mastery worked quite well, and that there was more evidence for this being possible, but as I dug deeper, my opinion has changed, and I now think that Mastery is more suited to a game like Black Desert, where it's more about grinding and perfecting everything. Hytale is a completely different game, and rather more focuses on fun and exploration, and this experimentation and exploration life skill system may be an approach much more suited for the mechanics within Hytale. I have to say, I am a massive fan of this idea that we can experiment with different combinations of items to find cool recipes. Like, that just adds so much depth to the game. Whatever system it is, I am super excited for it, because from the trailer you can see a character working on the anvil and forge producing gear, while the other character is working on brewing some potions. Now, this idea that as you're preparing for adventures, you and your friends can each specialise in your own part of the preparation is just awesome, as this way you can get the overall best spread of equipment and items for your team. The only thing I am having doubts about is that I feel like the Hytale team would maybe have announced something about this or shown it in a blog post if it were a big part of the game. However, we still don't know tons about the game, so I guess it still does have potential to be part of the game. Let me know what you think. Hopefully that gave you an insight into the potential for life skills in Hytale. Remember to let me know what you think will happen, or if I missed any important information. Also guys, we are super close to 100 subs, and it would be amazing if we could just smash through that milestone by next video. Quick reminder again to join the Empire Discord, link will be in the description, and other than that guys, have a good day.